What if I told you that Jude referenced the book of 1 Enoch in his brief epistle? Not many Christians are aware of this, but New Testament scholars have known about this for hundreds of years. Welcome to Actual Faith. I am Jeremy. This channel is committed to building the faith of Christians through a biblical worldview. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Now let's talk about Jude and Enoch. Because of Jude's reference to Enoch, some believers through the ages have questioned the authority of Jude, questioning whether it should be a part of the canon of Scripture. There's no getting around the reality that it appears Jude is referencing an extra biblical source. Let's compare what Jude recorded in his text with 1 Enoch. Enoch tells us, "Behold, he comes with the myriads of his holy ones, to execute judgment on all, and to destroy all the wicked, and to convict all flesh for all the wicked deeds that they have done, and the proud and the hard words that wicked sinners spoke against him." Jude records in verses 14 and 15, "And Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints, to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds, which they have ungodly committed, and of all their hard speeches, which ungodly sinners have spoken against him." Truth is truth, regardless of who said it or where it is found. Do you remember Paul's message on Mars Hill in Acts 17? He cites a Greek poet to strengthen his argument about truth he is conveying about God's sovereignty. Paul said, "For in him, that is God, we live and move and have our being, as certain also of your own poets have said, for we are also his offspring." And by the way, how did Paul know the names of the magicians, Jannes and Jambres, who challenged Moses leading up to the Exodus? He must have known through oral tradition or extra biblical historical sources. Think of all the instances where the Old Testament mentioned books you and I have never heard of. The book of the wars of the Lord, the book of Jasher, the Acts of Solomon, and so forth. If any other book other than the Bible states a truth, it's worth repeating because it's true. And the trail of truth, I believe, ultimately leads to God. John Piper wrote, "All truth exists to make God known and loved and shown." Therefore, it may be that Jude is using this reference in Enoch because he is aware of his audience. Much like Paul, he knew they were reading pseudepigraphic or false writings, and it was leading them into apostasy. Jude demonstrated that he was aware of their doctrinal errors and warned them using truth conveyed in their book. This tactic is extremely effective when confronting cults. Use their books, literature, and historical events to highlight truth and contrast it with error. Referencing a truthful statement doesn't mean everything contained in a text is true. Let me repeat that. Referencing a truthful statement doesn't mean everything contained in a text is true. We must learn to eat the meat and spit out the bones. Even if Jude referenced an extra biblical text that proved to predate his epistle, it would not necessarily conclude that every word of the Book of Enoch is true. Now, with all this being said, I do personally have some reservations about whether Jude was in fact quoting the Book of Enoch. It may be that Jude was quoting what Enoch actually prophesied in his time. It may have been an oral tradition that was passed down through the ages, or a more credible source that no longer exists that the Book of Enoch copied. I will leave the extra research up to you. My hope and prayer is that your faith grows stronger every day. Faith is not a blind leap in the dark. Actual faith is trusting and believing the unknown because of the known. And if you've ever wondered if Christians can lose their salvation, check out this video I did on eternal security.